Nara stole a South African TikToker's recipe and content ideas. Let's talk about this whole mess, what it's like to be a creator, how do you protect your work, and how can you tell if somebody's stolen your content. Hi guys, I'm Deborah Lyon, the voice of marketing and your friend in all things marketing, brand building, business mindset, and sometimes pop culture. So social media has been a buzz for the last couple of days because a South African TikToker by the name of Onezwa has claimed that Nara, who's undoubtedly one of the biggest TikTokers right now from the States, has stolen her recipes and her content. Now, a lot of people online are saying, she's just cloud chasing. She just wants money. This is not true. There's so many recipes out there. She's not the first one to come up with all of these things. So she's probably lying or seeking attention. And I can expect these kinds of responses from people who don't understand how social media works, who don't understand how content creation works, and who don't understand how royalties and ownership of things like content work. But if you have a clue about the business side of the content that we see, then you will know that someone like Onezwa making these kinds of claims is a very, very big deal, and we should not be sleeping on this. In fact, it can change the game for African creators and creators around the world because it's highlighting something that happens often, but a lot of people are just too scared to talk about it. Guys, I know that there are a lot of people out there who are literally lacking sympathy for this entire situation. And they're basically saying, well, if Onezwa was smart, she'd have extra streams of income or multiple streams of income, and she wouldn't be so concerned about Nara stealing her stuff. But there's so many layers to this, and I want us to unpack it today. The first question is, did Nara steal Onezwa's content? If you look at all of the reactions online and some of the screenshots that different people online have shared, the Twitter police, the X police, the TikTok police, it really does look very suspect. It does look like Nara probably stole or was inspired by a lot of Onezwa's content, and people have timestamps. They've got a lot of things that actually show that it is possible that Nara could have stolen Onezwa's content. A lot of people are disputing this fact because they're looking at it at a very superficial level. They're saying, but Nara has 7.6 million followers and she's a big creator from the United States. Why would she need to steal content? This lady's jealous. She's only got 300 and something K followers. She's from South Africa. Who would want to steal her content? And that's where it all lies. I spoke about this on TikTok and I'm going to speak about it here. When people are very well known, especially creators that are very well known, they tend to act like big brand when they are accused of something. How does big brand behave when they're accused of stealing somebody's work or products, etc.? Let's talk about that. Firstly, big brand will leverage off of their size and the credibility of their brand to disprove that they would be copying somebody who's much, much smaller and more insignificant than them. They leverage on that, right? So they might not respond to the person, but they will respond by showcasing all the amazing work that they've done or keeping it moving because they really don't have attention and time for people that small. That's how a lot of big brand behave when they want to divert the attention from what they're being accused of. That's the first thing. I call it the deny and lie strategy. When somebody says you've done something, you say, no, I haven't, even if there's proof, because you understand that your positioning in the market makes it very difficult for people to think that you might have stolen. Another thing that big brands will do is that they will leverage off of the sheer size of their community to have those people fight their battles for them and saying, well, I'm a fan, I'm an audience member, I'm a customer, and because I believe in this brand, I know that they've got integrity and they would never do this, right? So you get a lot of people, your evangelists, they'll come and fight for you, even if you might be wrong. They won't consider the information. They'll try to disprove it in any way possible because that's just how people who are loyal to brands are. Also, by leveraging off of the fact that you are from another country that is not Africa, it is very difficult for people to think that an American or a US-based company or person would ever want to copy an African, right? The presiding narrative in the world is that Africa looks up to the rest of the world, and we don't really have innovative ideas. We take from the world doesn't take from us. But if you look at the history of colonization and everything else, you will know that that is far, far, far from the truth. And a lot of people want to ignore that when they're looking at situations like this. Nara Smith has the same privileges that big brands have. She's got a bigger audience and a bigger community. She is from a different country, and the country is ranked a little higher in terms of everything, credibility, etc., than Africa. She's also got pretty privilege, right? And pretty privilege allows people to fight your battles for you. They will make assumptions about your abilities even if you have not displayed it. So pretty privilege allows you to get away with a lot of things, and it allows you to seem innocent, because why wouldn't you be? Because of how you look. Pretty privilege extends into so many things, and it lets you get away with so much, and people really don't want to acknowledge that when they're talking about these kinds of issues. We're not saying Onezwa is not a beautiful girl. She is. But compared to Nara Smith, tall, light-skinned model girl, Nara Smith will have way more privilege than Onezwa will, who's darker skinned, has short natural hair, lives in the rural areas. It's just different. So Nara Smith on a global scale will have more pretty privilege than an Onezwa would, and that gives her an advantage. Another thing is that Nara Smith has financial privilege, right? So she's married to a wealthy man. She makes money from her views, and she makes a lot of money from her views, which give her the edge. She can do more with her content. She can show up differently because she's got more money. In South Africa and other parts of the African continent and other parts of the world, we don't monetize our views. We don't make money from views. So you have to rely on brand deals and product diversification, that kind of thing, to be able to make money. And if you're not doing that, then your views are just for vibes. Your views are just for popularity. But we don't make money from views the same way that American, UK, and some Asian creators get to make. And that is also something that's incredibly profound. So people are saying, okay, well, she's just making a noise because she's not making money. Onezwa is making a noise because she's not making money. Even if that's the case, what is the problem with somebody wanting to be compensated for the work that they do? There's a reason why creators get compensated overseas for the work that they do and the views that they have, because it matters and because it has commercial value. And African creators should be afforded that same privilege, because what they are doing is work and it isn't less of. In fact, it's on the same level, right? If you look at things like music rights and how if you want to sample somebody's song, you have to credit them and get permission, it's the same kind of dynamic here when you steal somebody's content and recipes. You are supposed to get permission. You are supposed to give them credibility. You're supposed to say, I got my inspiration from this person. And you're supposed to get their permission. That is how it works. If you don't do that, you are stealing. That is theft. And that is not okay. A lot of companies make money from their royalties. They make money from owning the recipe, even though people are copying it, it's fine. But because they get the credibility and they own the IP of that thing, they make the money even if anybody else in the world is doing that thing or creating that thing. That's how you create wealth. We cannot expect African creators to have a lower standard or not to be money-centric when it comes to their content, because that's completely unfair. In this whole conversation, I mean, people are saying, so what can Onezwa do now, right? And there are lots of things that she can do. The first one is, if you're a creator and you are selling something that is easy to package, like food, right? Like beauty, I would highly recommend considering having an online store where you sell the things that you make. So if you're making food, maybe you're going to sell your spices like Onezwa does, or you're going to sell a recipe book, or you're going to sell cooking classes, but you really want to try to monetize that thing outside of social media, because on the African continent, we don't get to monetize from views. Another thing that you can do as an African creator is you need to try as hard as you can to grow as fast as possible, but to become as big as possible. This will give you the opportunity to secure incredibly large brand deals. And what this does for you is it gives you the financial edge to be able to improve your content and to do more with what you're doing. And that's going to be a very, very big selling point. So really work on your numbers so that you can get bigger brand deals, make more money, and you can have more of a competitive edge. Another thing that people like Onezwa can do is collaborate with other creators. What this does is it gives your brand broad visibility, and so it becomes harder for people to dispute that you are the girl that you think you are or the guy that you think you are, because people have seen you so many times in so many places with different creators, and it gives you more credibility. Another thing you want to do when you have content like food or makeup or fashion, things that are very easy for brands to work with, is you want to try to get yourself onto traditional media platforms, whether it's being on a cooking show or being a judge, those kinds of things that give credibility to what you do. Because when you do that, it becomes very difficult for people to dispute that what you do has so much value that even big corporate is willing to invest in it, that even big media is willing to invest in it. So always make sure that you're moving towards getting traditional media to make you more credible, right? And the last thing that you need to do when you're a creator is continuously nurture the relationship that you have with your audience. We are not like American, UK, etc. creators. In Africa, your relationship with your audience is everything, because chances are you're going to have to sell products and services in order for you to monetize from your views and to get the most value from your content. Having a strong relationship with your audience allows you to do this perpetually, and it allows you to build a business offline that will feed you and protect you when the online dynamics are not in your favor. So don't be brand new. Do the lives. Respond to the comments. Socialize. Interact with other people's content as well. But make sure that you are being visible and that you are building and forming relationships. Don't be brand new. We don't have the opportunity and the luxury to do that when we are African creators. I believe in Onezwa because I have been doing influencer marketing for over 8 years, and I understand the dynamics. I've seen the different kinds of creators that there are and how some of them will copy and believe that they won't get caught because of whatever privileges they have. I've worked behind the scenes where we hire influencers. I've worked in front of the scenes where I have been an influencer, and I've been able to see the dynamics. A lot of the time, and this is going to be incredibly controversial what I'm going to say, but you find that there are some creators who, because they have pretty privilege and main character syndrome, become influencers to get validation from other people and to be praised. And they usually don't have the talent. So what they do is they copy from other people and then use their pretty privilege or wealth privilege or whatever it may be to validate what they're doing, to make it seem like it is originally from them. And they know how to do that because they spent their whole life playing the optics game. So they know how to make things look a certain way to get buy-in from individuals. That's just the truth of the matter. I think Nara Smith can still salvage her brand if she wanted to, but for now, the way she's handling things is making her seem really guilty. And it's making her lose a lot of buy-in from South Africans because she's not really interacting with people and showing that she is deeply connected to A, being a creator, B, developing, growing the creator economy, and C, standing with other women, especially women of color, to build a better world. I think she really needs to change up her PR strategy about how she's handling this entire situation. Let me know what you think. Do you think Nara is guilty? Do you think Onezwa is just seeking attention? What would you do if you were in Nara's situation? And what would you do if you were in Onezwa's situation? Guys, don't forget to sign up to our EIM newsletter, the Everything is Marketing newsletter, where we talk about these things in great detail and I give you different strategies about how you can navigate through this. If you are a creator, click the link in my bio to sign up to our creator portal, where we do give you free resources so you can navigate through your career and make more money through your content and the things that you do. Don't forget to also listen to the podcast, The Deborah Lion Show. It's on Spotify and all the other DSPs if you want to up your marketing game. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I think a lot more is going to unfold. I foresee Onezwa getting a cooking show. I foresee her either being selected to be a judge on a show or maybe participating in a show as well. I see her with a recipe book. I see her just doing big things because I think this is giving her global exposure. And because she is so wholesome and authentic, she's going to get the public's affection and love over time. You know, people are tired of perfect brands like the Nara Smith type of brand, and they're looking for real people who are sharing real stories. And I think Onezwa is on the cusp of that. She's doing that so well. I'll see you next time when we talk about everything marketing, business, brand building, and pop culture. Love you guys. Mwah.